Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. I pray that everyone is doing well, honestly. And if you aren't doing well, I pray that you're striving to do well. You know, sometimes we have to dig deeper within ourselves to muster the strength, muster the courage, uh, muster the willpower to press on and to, move forward towards, a betterment, whether it's a goal or it's personal, feelings, relationships. We just have to dig deep. We have to dig deep, and that's a constant. Some days are easier than others, but I pray that everyone is doing well. And again, if you're not, you have it in you to do. I just wanted to, briefly, because speak on a lesson that I learned while in prison, and that was an appreciation for good. An appreciation for good. What does that mean? When I was young, like I said, I was born, in a pretty dysfunctional house, but I had some solid foundation, here and there. I had a father that at one time, worked hard, and offered knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I had a mother, a biological mother that, she loved us. She had her flaws, of course, and a stepmother that, loved us, and, she had her flaws. But there was always something to gain from each. My biological mother, she was pretty intelligent, she was pretty sharp. I never knew her to work, whatever caused her to just get on welfare and stay on welfare, that's a matter that only she can thoroughly explain, and she's not here to do that. But she always had knowledge, and she always offered jewels. My stepmother, on the other hand, worked hard, worked very hard. I've never seen her, not working or not striving to, do for, my siblings and even ourselves, myself and my brother, that weren't from her, but, were raised by her since we were little. And my father, same way, had a strong work ethic, even in his, days when he would drink or, do drugs. He wasn't the type of man that believed in sitting on his hands. He was a go-getter. Even when he did drugs, there were moments when he slept in cars, he slept in shelters, but he always found a job. So I was able to gain a lot of the good qualities from those that raised me. My uncles, my aunts, family, friends, cousins, etc. And so there were times when, life was dismal. Growing up, you living in a one-bedroom apartment with 4 brothers. You're on welfare. And your mom only goes to the store literally on the 1st and the 15th, no lie. You hear this in raps, but that's the truth. And like I say, my mother was bipolar and schizophrenic. And I didn't know this until later on, though I saw some signs of it just before I was incarcerated. And my father, like I say, he worked hard, but, kids want what kids want. Kids want a strong family structure. Kids want to be happy. Kids want, all their siblings under one roof. They want, parents under one roof. We want happiness, man, and we want everyone to be happy. That's not always the case, but you have to find, as I said before, the silver lining. And even as I do this, speaking to you all, as I put myself out there, as I put stories out there of experiences that that I've experienced or that other people have experienced, this is me putting my heart out there. As a people, globally, and this is generally not specific, but we love chaos. And some will say it's curiosity, but we're groomed this way. This is why, and again, I've said this before and I'm repeating it for a reason. This is why the shows that we have on TV, the shows, the Real Housewives of whatever, grown women, attractive women, intelligent women, most are wealthy women, most are mothers, wives, and they're throwing bottles at each other. They're beating each other up. They're cursing like they've lost their minds, like they're not being seen by an entire globe. But they get the ratings. A lot of our movies, and I love war movies for different reasons, but sadly, we're raised to love the Jasons, You know, the Michael Myers, the Freddy Kruegers, the Final Destinations, the grim and the gloom. I mean, we love death. We look at the news, and the news always airs people shot, people dying, people shot, people dying, bombs, and all that's necessary. That's news. But what about the people that help? Why are there only a handful of segments on each news network? And I watched them. There are only a handful of segments during the course of the week that actually promote the good. But we know influence. We know the influence means something. We know that people, pay millions of dollars for commercials because we know the power of influence. We know that if we have a celebrity wearing a name brand shoe, then that name brand shoe is about to go up, a few stocks. So if we know that the media itself is powerful and that the influence is great, why don't we use that influence to make mankind better, make mankind more generous? And then there are those who hide behind this phrase, well, do you, let everybody do them. You say that until somebody walk up on you and do them, hit you in your face. Then you like, I don't like that. But you don't mind looking at television, real television, reality television, and all these shows. You have women kissing 1,000 men. You have men sleeping with 1,000 women, and we're promoting this. And then we're wondering why little girls who are 7, 8, 9, 10 on up are being sexualized, being left unattended, right? And so I watch, a lot of these prison vlogs, channels, and I applaud the guys who did time, who are out evolving, the women who have done time, who are out evolving, striving to give the benefit of their knowledge and their experiences to us. I ain't for gimmicks. I don't like gimmicks, and I don't like silliness. That's never been my personality. I'm definitely not perfect. I can laugh, I can giggle, I have a funny bone, and sometimes it's morbid. Again, we're molded, but I work on those things, and that's just who I am. I'm not being judged. I'm not judging, but we all are judgmental because sometimes we see the effects of the wrong and the error, right? So I look at these stations and I look at these channels and I notice that, well, we're not talking about rape, people being slaughtered in prison, molested and raped and beat up in prison. People don't really want to watch that. People don't want to watch life's lessons. People don't want to watch the sister Iyanla Vanzant, not as much as they would watch, like I say, a Real Housewife of, and that's not to knock the good or the sisters and the brothers who are doing good on those shows. It's not. But even with those shows, BET used to have a show called This How I'm Living. And it would show the celebrities and their homes and $1 million and their shoes and their diamonds and whatnot. And they would show all that. And I'm like, I came up with an idea one time, and I was like, I think I wrote BET. I wrote them about AIDS. I have a family member that has HIV and has had it for a very long time. And I was like, why is it that in December, I believe that's AIDS, National AIDS Month, why is that only a handful of people wear the red ribbon that represent AIDS? The world wears the pink ribbon, and I love that, and I respect that. And I'm wearing it. When I can, I'm aware. I have worn, pink to represent the battle over cancer. But AIDS, no one talks about that. No one fights that. Not no one, forgive me. But there's very little attention and recognition drawn to that. Why? Don't ask me. Look at TV. Look at how many pink ribbons are all over. I mean, the whole NFL, the whole NBA, their shoes were pink, their jerseys were pink. But the African American community, the black community, the Hispanic community, the minority community, AIDS is at a terrible all-time high. Why? Isn't there more attention being drawn to that? Why are we so eager to see violence? Why are we so eager to talk about violence and wrong and rah-rah all day, negativity? And again, I was a part of that. I understand it, I do. And a lot of time, and this is a topic for another discussion, but it's always, the question is always asked, why do women like the bad boy, right? And it can be said the same about males. Males will look at a woman who seems natural, educated, and we don't have the same fire coursing through our vein when we look at her as we might when we look at someone, that seems a little provocative, right? Why? We're molded that way. We're molded. Look at the television shows. Look at the television shows. Look at how at one time women used to wear, dresses. Used to wear dresses, and now the skirts have slits all the way up to the rib cage. And I'm a man. You see things, you're attracted to it. Women are beautiful. Love you all, man, and definitely appreciate you all. But that is the thing. When we say we appreciate you all and we love you all, we want the best for you all. When we say we want the best for you all, we want you all respected. We want you all valued. And a lot of time, you women don't understand that value is not in your physical appearance. Nah, that's not where your value lies. Your value lies in what's beating in your chest. What's in your brain, your mind. That's where your value lies. It lies in your heart, your courage. Harriet Tubman, I've seen pictures of the sister, man, and to the common eye, she wasn't attractive, not by common standards, but man, that sister was beautiful. Oh, that sister was beautiful, man. Rosa Parks, beautiful. Sojourner Truth, beautiful. You know what I mean? Betty Shabazz, beautiful. Sister Khadijah Muhammad, beautiful. Winnie Mandela, beautiful. Murray McLeod Bethune, beautiful. Coretta Scott King, beautiful. And the list goes on. The list goes on. The everyday mother who's waking up every day to take care of her children. The mother who just, doesn't have time to go to salons and get her nails and her hair done and spend money on all the name brand attire. Why? Because you want to make sure her son, her daughter, her niece, her nephew is going to school. Has a future, has a bank account. Is in programs in school to further their knowledge and further their opportunities and broaden their horizon. Beautiful, right? We got to find beauty in simplicity. We don't always have to find beauty or excitement in the extra, the violence. It's all right to turn our televisions to National Geographic and look at nature. This is us. We're a part of nature. Look at the trees breathe out oxygen for us. And they taking the trees away. The whole earth, the trees are being cut down everywhere you go. We need the trees. We need the plants. They breathe out oxygen. We need that. Imagine a world without it. We think we're looking at these movies, man, where the smog is so thick and planes and cars are flying and everything is futuristic. We think that's a joke. Man, they've had flying cars for the last 40 years. Yeah, Israel has flying cars. They haven't brought them out because you have to do a million things to approve this. You have to think about wires. You have to think about airplanes and jet streams. It's a whole science and mathematics and geometry and physics to this. But they have it, right? And when it becomes advantageous for the world to possess it, watch. Jefferson's, here we come, right? But the Flintstones had a simpler life. A better life, if you ask me. And I like modern technology. These phones are wonderful. I look at them, I'm like, man, you can do everything. You can reach people, like I say, in China, all over the globe. You seeing people, on these phones, man, across the globe, man, 100 years ago, don't know what's going on over in Africa, don't know what's going on in China, and they got phones everywhere, all attached to the whole universe, man. You see everything. So, I can appreciate modern technology, but honestly, wipe this all away. You give us the horses, you give us the donkeys, you give us the chickens and the villages, you give us that sense of community. You bring integrity back to the village where it really takes a tribe to raise a child. Man, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad starting a fire, cooking food and then putting that fire out and that's it. I wouldn't mind the only time you wear fur is if an animal has to be sacrificed for that one village to wear fur and eat the meat and that's it. Not slaughtering all the bison, slaughtering all the minks so someone can walk around with a mink talking about how it's a mink and it costs $20,000 just to feel more superior than the person that has a fleece jacket. Come on, man. But I check myself. You know what I mean? Like I said, I judge me harder than anybody can ever judge me. You know, I really do. And those that know me know I'm telling the truth. I'm hard on me. You know, I want to do more. I want to do better. I want to be better. You know, I want the community. I was riding through the neighborhood in DC that I went to the gym last night with Coach Anthony, and I worked late, and I had been pretty busy, so I could only stop by. Then I saw the youngest, like 5 of the youngest. You know, I was like, how y'all doing? You know, I was only in there for like 20 minutes. I said, I'll be back, you know, next week for sure. But as I rode around the neighborhood Woodland, there were cop cars, cruisers on every corner, some of them blocking off the streets. And as I drove out on Suitland Parkway, there were 4 cruisers on the left. There were like 3 cruisers blocking the street. And I said, they waiting for somebody. Somebody has a warrant out for them. Someone that probably caught a murder charge, and they waiting for them. Yeah, and they're gonna swarm that neighborhood. Either that or they looking for a large drug movement. You know, and it's sad that the life that we live in the area that we know, this is what we're able to detect. But we got people that are scared of mice, you know what I mean? But we know killers. You know, we know people that beat people up all day, not scared of that. But we scared of, you know, crickets and grasshoppers. But like I said, I get it. I'm not judging. It sounds judgmental, and forgive me if it does, but I'm not judging. What I am saying is that as a society, if we sit back and we first check ourselves and we strive harder to appreciate the good, you know, relationships, another topic, you know, stop being so fast to jump in relationships and be faster to form friendships. I found that, man, very few people want to be friends out here. It's like, I like you, you cute, let's sleep together. And then that's just what it is. You know, men, women the same. And it's like, nah, let's forward your bond. You know what I mean? You know how many people have said they've had friends and they not friends no more. I've had this friend and I'm not friends no more. Were they ever really friends? And then we waste a lot of time on that relationship where we could have forged real bonds, strong friendships that last forever, man. You know, it's like, that word friend, man, look it up. If you have a dictionary, don't go off of your own knowledge sometimes. Don't go off of what people have told you the word friend means, including myself. I spoke, you know, I actually spoke on this yesterday, but for some reason the sound, I didn't have my phone up. So the sound was unclear. So, I couldn't post it. So I didn't, you know, I thought about it. I said maybe there was a reason why besides my neglecting to turn the volume up. But I said to myself, you know, because I spoke about the definition of friend. I said, nah, you know what? I'm going to ask you all to look up the word friend in a dictionary. Look it up, thoroughly look it up, and thoroughly break it down in your heart and ask yourself, am I a friend? Because if you are a friend, that means you're good. If you're a real friend, that means you're good. You want the good and you bring the good to the table. You know, you're there to offer your love, your support, your kindness, whatever you can offer, your resources to those you consider friends. Those you love and care for. Look at your circle and ask yourself, is that reciprocated? You know, if someone can call you and ask for money, someone can call you and ask you to pick up, you know, something or drop something off or babysit or help with something around the house, you know, or just sit on the phone and listen to them all hours of the night. If someone can do that, can you do the same to that same person or those people? Can you do the same? And if you can't, you might have to reassess your bonds. Not you, but your bonds. Or you have to ask yourself, if you in that sort of circle, what is it about that circle that keeps you attached to it, where you don't mind being the one that's used? Because sometimes I run into people who are the good, who are the friends in their circle, and yet they will dog another good person, but they will continue to embrace the abuse that they receive, the negligence that they receive in their own circle. So we have to sit back and thoroughly assess ourselves. Thoroughly. Look in that mirror. That's a harsh place to look sometimes. You look in it physically, you're like, oh, I'm losing hair. Oh, I got a bump. Oh, you know, my makeup ain't right. Oh, my mustache ain't right. Yeah, that's the superficial. That's cool. I'm gonna bump that. Look inside the mirror and look inside your own self. Do you help? It's hot out here. This is just a sidebar. Check on the elders in your family, man. Those who are less, that can't move as fast, that can't, function as well. It's hot out here, man. They find elderly people dead in a lot of areas because of this heat and no one is checking on them, man. So if you got a family member that's elderly or has had a stroke, or they can't move around, man, you know, check on them. Please check on them, man, because sometimes they just need someone to knock on the door, make sure they drinking water, make sure that their AC pumping and fans jumping. You know, that was a sidebar. But again, in conclusion, I learned to appreciate the good. And so I hold on to the friendship that I have. I appreciate the bonds that I form with the people I do. And if the bonds are reciprocated, man, then I'm grateful and I'm humbled by it. I make mistakes. Sometimes I hold a grudge longer than I should, and I swear I'm working on that. It's hard. Like I say, we're brought up a certain way. We're brought up, we're tired of pain. We're tired of frustration. We get tired of arguments. We get tired of real serious disagreements, especially if they're really, really unnecessary, rooted in BS. So I have very little time for that. However, mistakes are made, and we have to learn the value of mercy, but we have to learn the value of ourselves, right? So, you know, like I said, as you go throughout the day, man, try to find the silver lining. You know, I said this the other day, but I reiterate that. You know, if you're watching TV, try to watch something good. You look at the news, if that's what you do, I do it, but try to find something that makes you laugh. Try to find something that makes you feel good, not something that's, you know, corrupt, you know, silly, you know, nah, try to find something that makes you smile. Look at animals, you know what I'm saying? Look at animals, man. Look at kittens and dogs and puppies, and look at nature. You know, look at flowers blooming, you know what I mean? Or look at the good in your own household. You know, look at your son and your daughter trying. Look at your niece or your nephews trying. Look at your siblings trying, even if they flawed. Look at the good. Look at the good, man, and smile and be like, you know what? We got another day to make it right. With that, I thank you all, man, really. You know, appreciate you all watching these videos. Many of you all share the videos on your social media. That means a lot to me, because you helping me reach people. With the little bit I have to offer, you helping me reach people, and I thank you, you know. So, like I said, look in that mirror, check yourself, you know, self-examination, self-correction, you know, and know your worth. You're worth more than diamonds, you're worth more than gold, and that's not cliche, that's real, because that'll stay in the ground if it worked for you. So love yourself, man, and, you know, appreciate the good, value the good, hold on to the good, and I thank you all. Have a good day, and peace.